Anvadipare bandhanam chaiva. Okay, so here what Krishna says is the mental surrenderance, the manasika adhyavasaya is talking about. So, but what we need to know here, all the three are though good, but here it is more focus on the mind. If that is there, then other two things will follow. That's what he says. Next sutram. Aga yajyate cholli yaga prakaratte cholli pattapadum upayate cholli upaya nairapeksham cholli upayatvam cholli upaya swikaram solligiradu. So what this ultimately says is that consolidating the first part of the sloka, first half of the sloka. The first half, how many words are there in it? 6 words. So what each word talks about is here consolidating the meaning. Yajyate cholli, what we have to give up. What is to be given up is explained in the first word. Sarva dharman. Yaga prakarate cholli, how to give up. Parityajya savasanamaha. No. All its ruchi, vasana and rajai and maruvalidodapadi, as it again never returns. That's all just you have to just give up. That is yaga prakara, the way to give up. We explained. Pattapadum upayate cholli. What is the upayam we are accepting? That is also said in Mam. Upaya nairapeksham cholli. And it never expects anybody's help at all. It is by itself. Can give everything. That is by the word ekam. And ultimately, upayatvam cholli. Upaya nairapeksham cholli. Upayatvam cholli. Upayatvam saranam. So you are accepting him as upaya. And upaya swikaram solligiradu. We are adopting that upaya. Saranam, ekam, mam, raja. This is what he said. And then that's finished. The first part is finished now.
Vrindavan is called Vrajabhumi.
Yes, Vrajabhumi means a place where we can reach, a place to be reached. Vrajabhumi. That is called Nanda Vraja. The area is called as Nanda Vrajam. That means a place where the Ananda is there. Nanda, joy, Vraj. It reaches and stays there. So the name of the place became Nanda Vraj. Or if you want to really get the Nananda, and where to go is the place. That is Nanda Vraj.
That is the destination one should
Destination. You're right. now they are entering the second part of the sloka, and in which they are taking the first word. What he does. If he so surrender, and if he have the faith, what is going to do then for us? That also we need to know. Without knowing which we never surrender. What I get out of the whole. So he is going to say that, what I do for you now. You surrendered for me. So far he instructed what you have to do. And then he says, what I do then for you. That's what he's going to say here in the second part of the sloka. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. That's how he is giving the assurance. His duty, he is explaining. Swakrutyattai Arurichaigiram. That means he is explaining his duty. Swakrutyattai, what is his activity? What is his duty? What is his activity? Also, to free us from the bondages. That's his duty. We have some kind of bondages made of karma, and we want to get rid of those things, and he provides the way for that. He removes, or he cuts, or he burns them to ash. Whatever he wants, let him do. We are not bothered. All that we need is come out of the karmic bondages. That's all. That's what we want from him, right? And then he said about aham, right? Aham. What is aham? What is he showing there? He already showed once himself. With what word? Mom. What does it mean by mom? What it says, collectively what it says. Collectively what it says. Mom. Yes. Accessibility. The one who is really accessible. Being supreme, but down to the earth. That is what he says in the word mom. So he comes down all the way like that, and then he says, there are so many people try to do something to Krishna, right? So many people. And he was so accessible also to all of them. But being whom he was like that, is he just an incapable guy? No. He's very, very powerful. His power is shown here in this word, aham. You know, who am I? Showing, just like a person before the police, a politician comes and says before the police, now who am I? It's saying, aham, me, sarvajnanai, sarvasikriyai, praptavana nam. This is what he said. Sarvajnanai is the first quality. Sarvajñatvam is the first quality of God. It's one of the best qualities of God. There are two things called Sarvajñatvam, Sarvavetrutvam. Veda says, yes, Sarvajñah, Sarvavid, yasya jnanamayo tapaho. Sarvajñah. First quality is all-knowing. Sarvavetrutvam, knowing about every object in detail. Is it possible for us, for anybody? So, no way. See, now we are these many people in this hall. And all the faces are known to us. But once you just close the eyes and just repeat the names of everybody, does it happen? Is it possible for you? And you may be knowing one person, but do you know all his habits? Do you know when he fell sick? Do you know when he cried? And do you know how much he ate? And do you know what his father is? And do you know what his grandfather is? We do not know any of these details, right? For all these persons. We may be knowing the people and some people's names and stuff. That's all. But we do not know all the details related to them from A to Z. If at all we know, we do not know. There are so many other things in this hall, like the standing lights are there, the roof are there, on the roof there are glasses. Do we know where it made, when it made, and how it made, how much weight it carries? We do not know any details. So, forget about many other things. Take just one thing. Just one thing. And then, if you are able to say everything about it, forget about many other things. Take just one thing. Just one thing. And then, if you are able to say everything about it, this is called Sarva-Vetrutvam, if one is able to know all those details. That is Vetrutvam, you see, Sarva-Veta. Just knowing superficially, that is called Sarvajñata. So there is a vast difference, you understand? Sarvajña, Sarva-Veta. So God is Sarvajña, Sarvavid, yasya jnanamayam tapaha. He is a Sarvajña. He knows everything. And he is Sarvavid. He knows about every object in his creation, about every creature of his, of this world, about everything. So he is considered as Sarvajñana. See, that's what I am. And whatever I know, I am able to execute that as it is. No one can stop me. Whatsoever. Sarva-Sikti, we call it as Sarva-Sikti. And Praptavana na. Prapta is a nice word. Prapta means relative. I am your relative. I am related to you. Most of us think, going to God and just start praying, God, can you give me this place? God, can you sanction this? God, I have a need. Please help me, God. You do not know the relationship with God then. If you know the relationship with God, just like yours, then how can you demand? How can you demand? You can go and you can say, God, I want this now, give me. That's it. You can just, When you go to a mall Do you plead or demand?
Both.
Depends on the situation.
Most of the time children demand. They don't plead. Sometimes no. Then plead, mom, give me more. I think mom doesn't give? No demand. They always, most of the times they demand the mother. With father, no demand. They're very careful. Because they know. Most of the time that is how they use the mother. Mother is a perfect channel. So that they can demand and they can get their things done. But with father, they just can't. They can't go and demand, Dad, I want this. For some fathers, maybe like that, but very rare. And most of the fathers, very taskmasters. They won't give immediately. They say, what? Is it necessary for you? Not now. Tomorrow we can see. Or we can see next week. Let's go for next fortnight. And then I'll give it to you. So on and so forth. And they won't give it immediately whenever they want. Children want. But if it's with mother, she thinks it should be made to fulfill. And so she wants to see the children are always happy. I think that's what we call as motherly quality. This motherly quality may be in some males also. Sometimes ladies may be very hard masters, very task masters. So they may become like, and father may be then just pampering the children. But it is, it's a kind of understanding basically. If father is hard, mother should become soft. If mother is hard, then father should become soft. So one should be like this and one should be like this. If both are soft, gone.
Why is hard?
Yes, then children will become so hard. And if both are, very hard, then also children become very insecure. So, yeah. So both should not become hard, both should not become soft also. If one is hard, one should be soft. It may be changing. Sometimes, father becomes hard and mother should take the boy to near and say, console him. Okay, that's okay. Something dad said, don't care it at all. Just don't pay attention. And just ignore it. That's all that mother says. But if it also mother becomes very hard, then father should take the boy to clothes and then have to console and so on and so forth. But ultimately, the purpose is that both should take care, sharing the responsibility. That's how we should do. Then the children grow well. In India, like places nowadays, both are the taskmasters. Father also speaks discipline, and mother also speaks discipline. So father also insists on studies, and mother also insists on studies. So ultimately, the product comes out as an educational brute.
Indisciplined why?
Not indisciplined as such. There may be discipline, but ultimately he knows subjects, that's it. He doesn't know any other.
Values.
No heart speaks there. No human values there. And no concerns for others. Nothing. No feelings. Whatever they want. Until otherwise they get, they keep on just, bothering, and the moment they get what they want, simply go. That is how it happens. So the mother and father, in spite of that, we feel free with the mother than the father because of her good quality, soft nature. But for us, there are two protectors like that, Lakshmi and Narayana. Both are for us, both are like that, both are good. So you can go and just ask for anything. You have the sambandha with them. Prapta. That is called prapta. Prapta ana nam. The one who is having a real relationship. In Dvaya Mantra, in the first Narayana, there are 8 qualities described. Right? What are those 8? Jnana, Shakti, Prapti and Purti. Prapti is a relationship. Right? So this is Prapta. I am the relation. All sorts of relationship is with me. With the human beings, you have restrictions. One becomes father, never becomes mother. One becomes mother, never becomes father. One becomes a husband, never becomes father. And one becomes son, it never becomes a husband. And one becomes a friend, it never becomes something else. So, the relationships are pretty much conditioned in this world. If there is one kind of relationship with one, that's it. No other kind of relationship you can enjoy with a person, right? There is a poetry called Sakuntala. Did you hear the Sakuntala? So in the Sakuntalam, Sakuntala enters the kingdom of Dushyanta. Dushyanta was her husband. She enters the kingdom. She coming from the sage Kanva's Asramam. And that was exactly the time when the king Dushyanta makes an announcement. There he says, if at all any person lost any kind of relationship, let people know Dushyanta Dushyanta fulfills that relationship to them, which is not against the dharma. There he kept a condition. Dharma viruddha. That means what? He can become a father, he can become a son, he can become a friend, he can become a brother, and he can become a mother, but he cannot become a husband. Dharma aviruddha sambandha is there in all respects. Announce that Dushyanta is like that. So for a person like that, for a king like that, then there is a condition what he is accepted, accept the relationship like husband. All other sorts of relationship is there. As I can fulfill everything to people, let it be announced. But with God, you need not put such a restriction also. You need not. Even that kind of relationship also you can establish with God. With God. Tvameva matacha, pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha, gurus tvameva. Not Sakha. God. Yes. No. It is not Sakha, is the wrong version. Sakha is the wrong version. You can see the Saranagati Jeeyar, Jeeyar Swamiji, there he mentioned this sloka. But somebody of late changed the version that they added Sakha, which is wrong. in Guru Parampara, that means we are not studying Guru Parampara properly. Tvameva Mata ca Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Gurus Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva, Tvameva Sarvam. With God, you can have every kind of relationship and no restriction whatsoever. You have one relationship with people in the world and you just ready to give up your life with one kind of relationship. And if you have all sorts of relationship with God, then you can do just everything, anything. And how much affection and love you feel with such person, that is God. Fortunately, we are not able to realize that, that's good. So that we live with people here in the world. If we really realize that, I think, we just can't live without God at all, even for a fraction of a second. Swamiji used to say one story. One person was traveling with two people along with him in a train, and then it was a North Indian station. So in North India, most of the time they don't follow the rules. So they always, just jump into the train and then occupy all the seats, and then if somebody says that there are baap ki seat hai, there baap ki jagah hai. This is the first time I experienced, We were going to Dehradun, and we got into the train in Gaya. We went to Gaya. From Gaya to Dehradun we were going. Tickets were well reserved. And we got the reserved compartment and we got the seats reserved. And we got in the train, it went to Lucknow. But before just one station before Lucknow, people just thronged into the compartment and it was filled up. And we said, these are our seats. तेरा बाप की जगह रिजर्व किया था, चल हट। I said, this is reserved. चल भाई, तेरा बैठे यार। Somebody came and just occupied the seats and sat down. And I said, what is this? But that's the rule. That's the rule. But no rules and no restrictions whatsoever. But most of the times, in just coming down to South India, you don't find such things. It is reserved. It remains a reserved thing. No person of an occupation, Jabardast, Gundagiri, come like that. So what happened, this guy was in a station, then some people came, they wanted to sit there in the seat. And the old person traveling along with the two guys was an old person. And the old person went into the bathroom. And then somebody came in and then they wanted to sit there. They said, no, this is our seat. But the incomer started fighting with these people. And then both were started fighting, and the fighting, was intensified, and they took this shirt, and they started, just tearing it off and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the old person just came from the bathroom. And when he came, he saw the scene there, the children, and also the incomer, they started fighting with each other, and it was so severe. And then he found the person, when his shirt was torn, then he has a mole on his chest. And then he said, he observed the features and said, Hey, stop. Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What is your background? All these things were, just asked, and the guy said, who came and started fighting for the seat, he gave a few details. But when he found ultimately the one who came and trying to dominate here and occupy here, he's just the brother of this person with whom he was fighting. When he was pretty young, and then he missed, and somewhere he's gone, and he was not found. So they were just adjusting with the two children that were having. They got actually 3 children. And the third child now was here. And this old person identified by seeing the mole on the chest. Hey, you are the brother of this guy, he said. How? You actually missed and found, right? He reminded, and he said, of course. That is what it is. That means you are his brother, but at this age you were missed. And now you came back. God blessed you. And then he saw the person. Oh, my brother. Hugging. And they hugged each other. And this guy stood up and said, come on. That's it. That's it. Just fighting with each other. Or the same, just by knowing one sort of relationship. Brother and brother. They forgot their fighting. They hugged each other. Start offering their seed. See how much is accommodativity just by knowing one sort of relationship. And if you know all sorts of relationships, how much love and sharing you will be having with God if you realize. We know one kind of relationship, and for that, to maintain that relationship, we never mind even giving up on our own mom and dad and just go after that person. One boy loves a girl and one girl loves a boy, and then they say, we don't care our parents, let them go to hell. And these two go, no, just a We know that. We know many incidents like that. Because they loved each other, and there's only one sort of relationship they wanted with each other, for which they are ready to give up the whole world. And with God, you have 9 sorts of relationship. Navamidha, Samantha, we have with God. And if you understand that relationship with God, how much love you have with Him. We need to know that. Praptana, nan, aham. That is what He is showing us now. Aham tva sarvapapebhyo, right? That's what He's saying. So here He is showing Himself, sarvajnanai, sarvasektiyai, praptavana, nam, who is having all sorts of relationship. He is showing these qualities. So, why He is showing these qualities? Why He is showing these 3 qualities? The reason the Lokacharya Swami is giving for us. Ivan Kir Ninranilayum Mo Mel Pokadi Arihaikum Arindapadiye Seidu Talai Kattuhaikum Ekantamana Guna Viseshangalayum Tamperahat Seidu Talai Kattuhaiku Idana Bandha விசேஷத்தையும் காட்டுகிறது. What he says here is three qualities, three relationships, he is revealed here. The first one is Sarvajnatvam. Why it is? Even killed Nindra Nilayam, the soul, where he is existing now, and where from he came here, that is to be known, right? To know all these things. And also where to send him. Male Pokadi, Arirekum, where to send him. Where from he came and where he has to be sent. It is to be known. And if he doesn't know that, how can he do anything? So the first of all, the things must be known to him very well, for which Sarvajnatvam is pretty much required. And we have lot of karma with us. And basing on the karma, how the soul has to be directed? What kind of experiences to be given to the soul? This is to be known, for which the Sarvajnatvam is very much required. And arindapadiye seidu talai kattugaikkum, to fulfill, to do according to the knowledge. So I know where you are coming and where you have to go, but I don't know how to send you there. Now what is the purpose of knowing? What is the purpose of knowledge there? So knowledge becomes useful when you are able to do according to that knowledge, when you are able to respond accordingly. Then only that knowledge becomes fruitful. Right? So whatever I know, I must be able to execute. Then only my knowledge becomes successful. Somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I'm suffering from this kind of illness. Please pray for me." He says that. We pray. We're so sympathetic. But what can we do for that? We know that he's suffering. But how can we help him? How can we do that? Even doctors, they know when the patient is suffering. But even doctors can do nothing. All that they can give a medicine and just watch how it works. It's a trial and error basis, So, sometimes, if he is supposed to eat some more food on the earth, then he will survive. Otherwise, he simply goes. So, knowing is something, and doing according to the knowledge is something different. But we expect God not just to know our problems. He should do to relieve the problems, to get rid of for us to get rid of those problems. What is to be done? He should do that also. For which he needs Sarvashakti-tvam. He did something and some of his bosses came and said, "Hey, why did you do this? Who asked you to do this? I'll fire you." Then how can he do anything? So he should have absolute power to do that. It's called Sarvashakti-tvam. Right? So, arindapadiye seidu talai kattugaikkum, to act according to the knowledge. Ekantamana guna visheshangalakkum. Ekantamana, whatever the qualities that are very important, those qualities are Sarvajnatva and Sarvashakti-tva. Those two are revealed. One may be having knowledge and ability also, but why should he do something for you? Why? If you are mine, I do something for you. There are so many people. There are so many people having lots of money. Are they giving to you? But if it is your own person, then he gives to you because you are his person. Then he gives something to you. That relationship is very important. So wherever there is a relationship, that's what he gives. Andal says in Karavaigal Dinsanam, Kurevandrum illada Govinda. Kurevandrum illada Govinda. You are Govinda. There is no kurai to you at all. There is no paucity of anything. You are full. And we, Arivandrum illada Aikulathu. You are Kurevandrum illada, we are Arivandrum illada. That means we have nothing, no knowledge, and we are just totally empty here and is totally full there. Oh, that's okay. And if I have full, then should I give it to you? Is there any rule like that? There is a big mountain and here is a big valley. And you want a fair road. What to do then? Cut the mountain, fill the valley. Then the road becomes straight. So you have everything with you and we have nothing with us. So come on, just give it to us and it becomes equal. It isn't kept for you. It is kept for you. Because I went down to that. And when he says that, then Goda Devi comes in. Undannoduravu namakku ingorikka oriyadu. Hey, to whom are you talking? You know who, right? Who are we? Undannoduravu. We both have a link. You understand? And it's not just one link, it's like the sun and the light. It's like a diamond and it's glittering. It's like the flower and its fragrance. Indian flowers I'm talking about. Not here the fragrance is allergic. So they won't any fragrance here. No fragrance is more good. But for Indian flowers, Vasana leni puvu. They never consider it as a flower at all. So, and you are the flower and you are the fragrance. Somebody sung a beautiful song. Prabhuji, tu chandan my pani, tu chandan my pani. When water is mixed with the chandanam, then the fragrance starts coming. You know that? And as long as you are mixing up the water with the chandan, then the fragrance doesn't come. So, you are the chandan. Remember, I am pani. So, if you don't accept me, your fragrance will never shine. It never comes up. So, like Undannodu Rabu, Godadevi says, Undannodu Rabu, Ingorika Oriyadu. God said, that's okay. Sambandha is a relationship. It goes with a pot full of water. Dropped, gone. What people do when somebody dies? The person who performs, then it seems he carries the water after the things are over, and then he walks 10 feet and then drops the pot, and as it falls and breaks, there it is gone. And without seeing back, he should go. When he sees back, probably he gets the relation catches him. I don't know. But that's how it is said. That's how it is said. So Krishna said, that's okay, relationship, it is done with a pot full of water. No. Your relationship with us is not something like that goes with a pot full of water, you understand? Namakki ngorika oriyadu. It is, it's eternal. It's like the relationship between A and Ma in Omkara. That never goes. And the relationship between the light and the glow, that never goes. If one goes, the other thing automatically goes, remember? Light gone, but the bulb is glowing. Can you say that? Huh? Light is gone, but bulb is glowing. Means what? The bulb is only useful for decorating purpose. You know, when we were young, and we used to bring the bulbs and break it and remove the back one, fill up the water and put some creeper in that and hang it somewhere. That's how you can use it. Not beyond that, for any other purpose it is used. If one goes, the other thing automatically goes. Remember that. That's what she says, Godare. Odika Odiyadu. That is what we call the relationship.
Actually, God is responding only in human form to us. So we end up having only the relationship like mother form.
In Acha form. Acha form.
Yeah, but in Acha form he is there in full capacity and it's all in your mind we are praying and everything.
Oh, otherwise no.
His response is coming in human form to us.
No, that is somebody says, no, yet bhavam tadbhavati. Bhavam tadbhavati. The minute you think that is sun, is sun. You think that is moon, is moon. Do you think that if you think that is moon, the sun becomes moon? The word people say sometimes in misleaders, like, yet bhavam tadbhavati. Whatever you think that happens. Do you think that whatever thing that happens in the world? On a million years. That is my bhavam. I wish it should happen. But if that happens, Swamiji need not worry at all. Asramam is constructed and updated within 1 year. So, that bhavam tadbhavati is not true. It is not your imagination that made the Achamurti God. No. God is, that's God himself.
And he is not talking to us.
He should not. If he talks, you are scared. That's the problem. If he starts talking, what you do? You run away from the mandir.
But he spoke to Gola Devi.
Yes, because she was not scared. And you are not like that. She wanted only to talk to him. But we want to talk to hundreds of people. So that's the problem. And you try to talk to him and see that whether he responds or not. But the communication process is something different, That everybody won't communicate, as you think. Man communicates through some signs, some means, some words. But communication of the tree is something different. It communicates through the flowers. And the communication of the clouds is through rains. Right? So communication processes, they are different, Each one has, its own way of communicating the things. So that's also the Achamurti communicates only through the mind, through the manas, but not just verbal. So when you close your mind and try to talk to him, how it happens? Open and try to talk, then check. Okay. So, having something, there is no rule that one should give you. You may be having so much need and he may be having a lot of money unused with him. There is no rule that he has to give you. But one who is having a relationship with him, definitely he gives. One feels the relationship, definitely he gives. So, tampera cheda talakattavekku idana. To do something as if it is his benefit, as it is. joyful to him, we need a kind of relationship. That bandha vishesham kartika is the praptatvam, he shows that bandha vishesham, the relationship. That is aham. The word aham says all these three things: jnana, shakti, and bandha. And then, what's the next? Tanaka hakkonda saradhyaveshattai avanayittu parade tannayittu paattu anjana acham tira tanana tanmaye aham endru kaattugiran. So there earlier he showed himself as a driver, right? As the driver. And then Arjuna may be thinking, catching hold of this one, and I have to be saved from the karmic bondage. Is it possible? The Kokotok but Godavari ఈయన పట్టుకుంటే నన్ను ఎక్కడ ముంచేస్తాడు ఈయన? If I hold him, and where will be me? I will be somewhere else probably. Will he be able to save me at all? That doubt may be there with Arjuna. Yes. That's why he is showing that. He is referring that. Aham. Don't think that what we are seeing here as the charioteer of your words, or as the person who is the cowherd boy, or as just one playing with damsels of the Nanda Gokula and eating butter and